Mayuna again. Ayabas.
Baby, I want to be with you tonight. Baby, I want to be with you tonight.
Sniffer, Allegiant Sound.
Anytime I see you, girl, you give me good time, good time. When I don't see you, girl, my heart breaks sometimes, sometimes. Do you know I love you? I want you. Do you know I love you? I want you. My heart take over, sweetie baby. You are my superman. Come over, party, baby. What I come China. I come China. Love me, my woman, my woman. Love me, my woman, my woman. Love me, my woman, my woman. Love me, my woman, my woman.
Baby, I want to be with you tonight. Baby, I want to be with you tonight.
Vacation twende Dubai, upige mapicha picha. Tú eres mi señorita, comprarte una rosa. Squeeze na vimba kita, bila wezi ringa. Hata kama sinanga ndinga, na wewe naridhikaga. My heart take over, sweet.
Good morning, welcome to my YouTube channel. My name is David Okun. Today we are continuing with the second part, discussing global politics and also discussing ancient compared to modern politics. My discussion is going to be based on an article written by Dr. Andrew Dembe. And congratulations, he compared what he called as the Renaissance bourgeois of Renaissance Rome. When we talk about bourgeois, we talk about a class, for example, a class of rulers who from the beginning, during the period of Renaissance, as in the decades when civilization began in history, and being compared with what is happening in present-day Uganda, the first family of Uganda, the Museveni's family, which is the ruling family, the first family of Uganda. Mr. Museveni is the president of Uganda. He has been since 1986, coming into power by the force of the military system, achieving a military regime since 1986. Thereafter, Mr. Museveni set up a system of democracy, which was consistently disputed, the presidential and the parliamentary and all the other systems within the local and the central authorities. Every time there was an election in Uganda, there was a problem to do with disputing election by members of the opposition, including going into courts to challenge what was suspected or even claimed or counterclaim as being rigged. Rigging election, it appears, has been an accusation since President Museveni entered into power, since they are reinstating from a dictatorship, reinstating a system of election under the umbrella of the politics of democracy. So we go through it as part 2. We have seen other part, and we are looking at history and also how militarism informed or even underline the ancient Rome, which was Roman Empire. If you know, Rome was the most modern and prominent empire the globe had seen. And when Rome declined to fall, then Britain took over from the Roman Empire, creating what became the British Empire. The British Empire then coming to Africa and also in other parts of the world provide a fingerprinting of modern governments in militarism as underpin every system of rule and power. And that is what I've been talking about based on an article I found online written by a Dr. Andrew Dembe. If you know anything about Dr. Andrew Dembe, leave a comment below. And if you don't know, put a big smile on your face and read his article. If you come across it, I'm just going to speak based on this article. The first part, if you go onto my YouTube channel and take a look and watch that video, this is a continuation. This is going to be part 2, discussing politics, ancient and modern, discussing the concept of democracy, if any, and leave a comment below if you think there is democracy. Democracy, in its basic definition, means a democracy, a government of the people by the people, which means people actually create a government for them in the majoritarian sense, and not for the few but for the many. In the contrast, by contrast, Dr. Dembe has argued here that the kind of democracy seen in the Rome and also in modern times in the Museveni government, is anybody's guess what democracy may look like in modern terms, even in Britain or in places like Europe or the European Union, in America, Asia, and other parts of the world. So it is up to individuals to ascertain whether democracy really in substance or actually an instrument to disguise what is an intent and also the practicality of power and rule. And you therefore divide society among the ruling and the ruling class and those who are ruled, the majority, on the contrary, being ruled by the minority, in what is amounting to a form of dictatorship, whether militarily or in the civil context, disguised as a system of democracy. Democracy was supposed to be civil, was supposed to entail civil liberty, individual freedom, or group freedom, as would be found under a system of politics and government to bring what we aspire to as peace. The question arising that a system now in existence in a country like Uganda, should we say even in Africa or the rest of the world that is there peace in the world? Because if there is democracy and freedom in the world, then we should have an estate of freedom in Europe, America, in Asia, and also in Africa. Leave a comment below. Subscribe to my YouTube channel if you haven't subscribed. If you have subscribed already, I'm so happy that you did. Thank you for being part of this family. We are a channel in progress. We are growing on a daily basis. It's been a long journey, exciting and challenging, and it has been a point of learning and of a lot of excitement. Leave a comment below, engaging with this channel, and also watch the video, share with family and friends, click like, click notification bell so that you don't lose anything we post the next time. If you click that bell, and you will be notified of a new video. And thank you so much. And also and subscribe if I haven't already said. in share with family and friends. Leave a comment and watch as much as you can to your heart's content. And let me know what you think about politics, what the value of politics is. Politics is supposed to organize society, to bring us together in what I describe as the formulation of society based on the principle or even the idea of the developmental economy, and in addition to the cultural economy, live economy. If you understand anything about developmental economy or the cultural economy, it appears to me that that is a principle or a concept I have coined throughout my video. I've been exploring those possibilities, those concepts. If you have heard it before somewhere else, then God bless you, and thank you so much. Development deal with what you see in the physical, in terms of material, in terms of maybe economic growth and economic development, technology, including things like artificial intelligence, in what you see and touch and utilize hospital in the social economy, such as welfare system in terms of production of food, and also the distribution of food, if any, and the welfare system, social policy like schools, public transport, and you name it. Those are sector to do with the developmental economy in my classification. And I leave a comment below if you're impressed. If you're not impressed, then fair enough. Cultural economy is to do with education, with the softer aspect of our progress. So cultural and developmental economy, if you compile them together, if you combine them together, you get progress. So as we make progress, we seem to have done very well on the side of the developmental economy, including especially technology, artificial intelligence, 3D printer, and robotics, nanotechnology. I've mentioned this over and over, and they are the cornerstone of modern technology now. And technology, in my opinion, is going to take over to run society, which is a good thing, because it means, therefore, that people do not need to work. They do not need to toil. Work, as a Christian, I am a Christian, work is a curse, as you can see. And today, the way people work, Elon Musk, who is a trillionaire, says he works 22 hours a week. 22 hours a week. 22 hours a day. I can't remember, because I've been reading about him recently when he became a trillionaire. I remember trillion. If you're a trillionaire, you are going to be richer than a billionaire. A billionaire is richer than a millionaire in US dollar. Some of us in the world, we don't even have a million, never mind a billion or a trillion, which Elon Musk is the only trillionaire as of recently, having achieved that excellence of wealth possession. And I'll leave a comment below what you think. If a man, this only man being a trillionaire, the richest man on the earth, having been the richest man on the earth, and there are so many rich billionaires who are female and respectful. Probably there are also children. I haven't heard of children who are billionaires. Probably when they inherit the wealth of their parents, or their uncles, or their friends, or relatives. But that is what capitalism produces. And if you are a poor person, embrace capitalism, work as hard as possible, but not too hard, because you need also to rest. In as much as we all want to be rich, and we can be rich, never give up hope. It doesn't matter how poor you are now. Aim high, and believe that if Elon Musk can be a trillionaire, you also can be a trillionaire, even if you are now 80 years. What I mean, the miracles do happen. And if you have been investing in your life, even if you haven't been investing, everybody, I believe, would have invested in their life, one way or the other. And we do this all the time. Sometimes you finish as a wealthy person in terms of wealth, in terms of material wealth, like money, like assets, maybe property, private jets, private train, private everything. You own even manufacturing company like Tesla and like SpaceX, like in Elon Musk, the owner of of the X economy, and you comment below if you are interested in someone like Elon Musk. If you interested in doing a study of Elon Musk, I don't mind doing a small study. I'm trying to understand Elon Musk, but I am particularly interested in illustrating what is the function of society in terms of progress, in terms of cultural developmental economy, in terms of cultural economy. Like I would say, this is a term I've actually imposed on myself and on whoever is interested to understand, because cultural developmental economy is quite common. You would know it in terms of education, healthcare, public transport, building a vehicle, airplane. This is easy because this is what we have mastered. What we have failed, in my opinion, to master is the cultural economy, which is an equivalence of progress on the side of information, how we think, our attitude to people, how we value our lives, how we value other people. I have said this over and over for nearly 4 years, and I'm so excited. Leave a comment below if you know anything about cultural economy and developmental economy. Cultural economy, in my opinion, is what is missing from the piece making up the progressive infrastructure. So if we can change the way we think and change the way we value, we prioritize people over and above other things. We value everything because everything is made for us, for our good. And we value money, we value wealth, we value health, we value everything. But in the way of prioritizing, in my opinion, and also in my proposition, and also discussing, we are supposed to value humans first over and above anything. Everything, even if you're an Elon Musk, it doesn't matter what you're doing, it doesn't matter what you're creating, your number one priority is humanity. And beginning with an Elon Musk, I would suggest that someone like Elon Musk should prioritize his life first. Sleep, have enough sleep, create wealth. If you want to work 22 hours a day out of the 24 hours a day, that is your choice. But I would say, whatever you do, hard work is the only way to succeed is hard work. If you work hard, you will succeed. If you plan well, you plan to succeed. Everybody in theory is supposed to succeed, especially if you work hard. And if there is disruption about your hard work, then there is something missing, maybe on the cultural, economic sense, where there may be people who exploit people, other people who work hard. Are people who have been working so hard, they have been exploited through a system, through individual people who are violent, have been corrupting society. If you consider slave trade from Africa, being taken by force from Africa and being put into ships, into and transported to be sold in Europe, in America, in other parts of the world, even within Africa, because slave humans have really been very corrupt, and education is needed within the cultural section of our progress to teach our minds to change the way we think. If we can think war, we can also think peace. If we can think valuing humanity first instead of valuing wealth or other things, we can do that, and we can also flip it around to think otherwise, that people come first. And that is all I'm trying to say. It sounds almost simplistic, It is a simple conference, but you don't need to complicate life. All you have to do is realize that the only way to peace is to change the way we think, shifting from valuing other things as a priority, changing to value humanity as a priority, beginning with yourself. Value yourself first and value other people around you. Then, when we develop that mode of thinking in terms of reprioritizing what we value, valuing people first, then we, the people, will be the author and the finisher of our destiny, because we begin to produce processes which bring peace. That is what I have been saying throughout my channel and throughout the videos, or in all the videos I have posted. I have always mentioned the cultural economy as the code needed for learning to bring peace, because we, the people, created war. We took away peace because of evil. We began to value other things. Now we even value the environment. We value wild animals more than we value people. I am not saying you should value other things. We need to value everything, even the air we breathe, and the rain, the water. Everything should be valued as people first. Thank you so much. Stay tuned. Continue watching. Thank you so much. I'll see you shortly. Good morning. Welcome back as we continue to discuss modern and ancient politics based on a material written by Dr. Andrew Dembe. I thought of it to be extremely interesting, because he talked about government, he talks about power, talks about politics, talk about democracy, talk about globalization. As we spoke about in the other video previously, and we are continuing along the discussion, because there is so much to talk about in terms of politics. You talk about economics, you talk about everything. Every time you talk about politics, you talk about everything. You can talk about the environment, you can talk about technology, you can talk about wealth, health, talk about a particularly dividing discussion into developmental and cultural economy. As I discussed, as I explained previously in the other segment of this video. Welcome back on this part of this discussion. We talk about history, talk about politics, talk about Roman Empire, as in the ancient of days. According to this material, according to this article by Dr. Andrew Dembe, from the 15th century, during what was referred to as the Papal Rome. Papal is actually a derivative of Pope, as in Christianity, the Catholicism. In the Roman period, to modern Kampala. Kampala is the capital of Uganda, which is ruled by President Museveni since 1986, following a military coup which he staged on the country. And afterward, he introduced a system of democracy, and every time there was election, he was the one winning. His party, the NRM, was the one winning. And so people have developed a sense of suspicion of election rigging. Every time there is an election in Uganda, there is a dispute, sometimes going into court, and whether or not elections are rigged in Uganda. The truth is out there. But what we are trying to say is that power are corrupt, and absolute power corrupt absolutely. That is a well-known mantra, if you like. And we are dealing with power. And because without power, you cannot rule over anyone. If you are being ruled over by someone who is more powerful than you, whether at home, somebody with a gun attain a lot of power, or somebody with a weapon, or somebody who is physically probably stronger than you, or they have some kind of supernatural power, they can just look at you and you collapse. Those are aspects of power. So Dr. Dembe said, when power is hoarded by a single bloodline masquerading as a republic, the state ceases to be a commonwealth. It becomes a private family estate where public offices, national budgets, and military ranks are distributed like wedding favors. You talk about weddings, you talk about celebration, it becomes a joke, it becomes kind of like a party. Every day is a party. Life becomes very obvious, and and power then becomes a private, a matter of private family. It becomes something belonging to a private. It's like a private asset belonging to a family, becoming an estate belonging to a family, and public offices and public offices and national budgets like national flag, for example, and military ranks are distributed like wedding favors. This is how it describes it. It is describing the ancient Rome and present day Uganda. Leave a comment below if you know ancient Rome, if you know private, modern day Uganda. So he says, he looks at something he called the inner court, the 5th century mirror. 5th century, which means something from long ago. He was from the past. He draws parallels between someone called Rodrigo Boggio, who was of the Roman order, Rodrigo Borgia's Rome, and Yoweri Museveni's Uganda, which are not cosmetic. They are structural. These are not just symbols. They are real. Both systems rely on a choreographed division of labor within the ruling household. So when you talk about choreography, something which is meticulously orchestrated, and they are shows, they are like acting on the stage. Look at drama, yeah, in a play. So politics become, as in the past, as in the Roman Empire, and between Rodrigo Borgia and Museveni, and Yoweri Museveni are compared. Rodrigo Borgia's Rome, as in Yoweri Museveni's Uganda, are compared, and in their cosmetic appearance, and also so the parallel between Rodrigo Borgia's Rome and Yoweri Museveni's are not just cosmetic. So they are substantive. You see, in interpreting this structured writing, they are structural. These are systems established, which actually last for a very long time, and they are monolithic in their centralized empowerment. So both systems rely on a well-designed division of labor within the ruling household. So they divide the country. They give jobs, high-level jobs. Talk about the patriarch. The patriarch means the male line of rule. That is what patriarchy is here. So talk about Pope Alexander VI, Rodrigo Borgia, who captured the Holy See through ruthless patronage. Talk about patronage, using your office to demonstrate your your majesty, if you like. State resources. Talk about wealth and power. When you talk about a symphony is like something which is designed in an orchestral, in a stately, being staged, reigning simultaneously as spiritual sovereign, When you talk about spiritual sovereignty, you talk about somebody who has been ordained by God, and also the secular. So the temporal and the secular monarchy as you called in the then Roman Empire. So if you remember Rome became the seat also of the seat also promoting Christendom, the Roman Catholicism, because the Christian at the period of Rome became very powerful and influenced. So the state adopted Christianity at that time and created what became the Roman Catholic Church, and the whole globe of Christianity used to be Catholic, including here in England, until the English people broke away from Rome to create what is now Anglicanism. They used to call themselves Protestant, but now they are calling them Anglicanism. Anglican, it comes from the word Anglo, which means England. So I am a Christian, the member of the Church of England in England. In my original country, Uganda, I am a member of the Church of Uganda. It's a small world. Christianity is here to stay. So we talk about power from the church, power from the state, and these detail state resources symphony is in the highly organized, musically orchestrated, which is almost rhythmic, which is very, very Shakespearean, very acting, and which is typically political, which is what you see with the media, what you see with public relations of the media, and what politicians today they debate in style with the media. They are public relation personalities in what also used to happen in Rome. In my opinion, happening not just in the Museveni Uganda, but all over the world. Politics is always the same, but countries ancient and modern, system ancient and modern, operate politics and government in their own styles. So we talk about Yoweri Museveni in power since 1986. He never left. He used the state apparatuses, electoral machinery, and constitutional amendments to entrench indefinite personal rule. He changes the constitution to fit his political interest that has been happening since 1986. If the government has to change the law to suit politics, power, militarism, name them, the government of Uganda has been doing it factually since 1986. This is what Dr. Ndembe is trying to say, and that is what I found to be interesting, comparing ancient Rome with modernity. But if you also come to Europe and America, you find that certain families, certain friends, certain category of people who are connected by blood or by friendship are the one ruling in the United Kingdom, are the one ruling in America, in Asia. It's almost the same in the Middle East. People are always ruling directly or indirectly through family lines. He began in Rome in its modern context. So now, what is Roman is now what is contemporary, because if you follow history of empires, because today we have different form of empires. We have some really strange system in Africa, in the Middle East, and in Asia. We see Ukraine, Russia, where there is a lot of war, because the system Rome created in the modern sense has never changed. The British took over from Rome. They created the British Empire. Today, every country across the globe is trying to learn English, including the Chinese, even the North Koreans, Middle Easterners, Africa, whether you are Francophone or Anglophone are the former British Empire countries, imperial countries, the Francophone are French, because the French and the British were key rivals in Africa in the distribution of Africa as in the scramble of Africa in the historical context, they were dividing Africa between themselves. But I think the British overtook took the lion's share. Today, Europe, in its new colonial sense, are still ruling over Africa through the IMF and the World Bank. They are the ones, the Europeans are the ones financing Africa. If they tell Africa to stand, Africa will stand. If they tell Africa to sit, they will sit. However, this IMF and the World Bank are also financing Europe and America. I think Russia now, and even China, they are financing the global economy in every part of the world, which means the Europeans are actually the ones who rule the world through the IMF and the World Bank, because with privatization and selling away of national assets to private individuals, the government has no money. The government has to rely on private banks selling bonds to pay debts. So we are born in debt, we live in debt, we die in debt. That is what modern empires look like. They are the same. They have been clothed in new dressing, in new apparel. I mean, they look beautiful, they look more presentable, but inside the beast has remained the same. We cannot see peace until we change the way we think. We think peace. We think people first. Like I said at the beginning of this video, we will not see peace. There is no peace for the wicked because we are violent. We see wars in America between Americans and Syrians. You will never understand why there is war from the Adam, when from the beginning, when Rome established what was a Roman Empire inherited by Britain, overthrowing the Romans, establishing the British Empire. Since the creation of the British Empire, there has never been another empire. We have the United Nations now, which are the supervisor of the global powers. And we are going global. That means we are getting rid of our sovereignty. If you know anything about sovereignty, leave a comment below. This is basic politics. Sovereignty means, in the United Kingdom, for example, that Parliament is being sovereign, is able to do anything it likes. In America, the Constitution is sovereign. The President of America is the most powerful figure on earth, and they do like as what they like. Donald Trump can do anything he likes. And if you talk about national sovereignty, you talking about the President of America, who has the most powerful estate ever seen anywhere in the world. And Russia, on the other hand, China is another power. This monolithic power is there to stay. And that means democracy has never been the truth, has never been true. It is an illusion. Because with so much power concentrated in single individual and families, you will never have power in Europe. We will never have a democracy anywhere. Democracy is a window dressing. We need to go back to the basic of understanding the value of peace, of understanding the value of humanity. Democracy or no democracy, there's nothing wrong with democracy. There's nothing wrong with any system. Doesn't matter what you call it. The problem is people, humanity. Humanity are corrupt because they are violent, they are disrespectful of themselves, they are respectful of others in what is a lack in terms of cultural economy. I spoke of cultural economy over and over again. Leave a comment below if you are lucky enough to see this video. And let us know that we are talking about cultural economy, we are talking about developmental economy. The combination of these produce the discourse of progress. Leave a comment below if you know anything about what I'm talking about. If you don't know anything what I'm talking about, leave a comment below. subscribe to this YouTube channel, and click like, click notification bell to be notified of additional new video, and share with family and friends, and say hi in the commentary box if you have nothing to say. Thank you so much. We are talking about politics because politics is everything. Politics is in the kitchen, politics in the sitting room, politics in the bedroom, in the storehouses, in at home, on the street. Politics is in school, in work, whether you are traveling, whether you are staying at home, whether you're on holiday or you're at work, or doesn't matter what you are doing, whether you are a civil servant or you are a peasant, as you would find in parts of Africa, Asia, and other parts where people do different things. There is always politics, even among the animals, except the politics of the animals is understood by animals. Our politics is understood by us because we are humans. So we need peace. The most important thing in discussing to understand politics and government is peace, because it involves power. And power, if evil people are using power, they are corrupt, and absolute power corrupt absolutely. This is what this author is talking about. The article he has written, I'm making a comment on it, and we are talking about people who access power, as in during the Roman Empire, and if you know Caesarea Borgia, who was elevated as a young man, discarding his cardinal's robes to become captain general of the papal armies. You talk about the papal empire. If you know anything about papal empire, joining the army, violently subjugating rivals across the Romagna. General Muhoozi Kainerugaba rose swiftly through the ranks of command to command the elite special forces command SFC, and ultimately take charge of the Chief of Defense Forces CDF, positioning himself as the visible, heavily armed heir apparent. This is a description of the condition of government and politics under a condition of militarism in Uganda, the soft power matriarch. So it goes on and on and on. Stay tuned, continue watching. Welcome back as we continue to discuss modern and ancient politics based on Thank you so much. Welcome back. And we are continuing to talk about ancient and modern politics as we saw in the Roman Empire, in the secular and in the ecclesiastical or the spiritual power equivalents. So we talk about the soft power matriarch, and which is matriarch means a female kind of lineage, as opposed to patriarch. Patriarch is a male line of power. So we talk about matriarchy, matriarchy, as in concepts, and somebody called Lucrezia Borgia was deployed in strategic marriages to secure alliances with Milan, Naples, and Ferrara, anchoring regional influence. Janet Museveni, as First Lady, a senior politician and long-serving Minister of Education and Sports, anchors domestic social policy, religious patronage, and party politics. This is a situation comparable between Uganda and what was Rome. And it's quite interesting. Rome transitioned into what is now Italy, modern-day Italy, but Rome proper also exists today under the rulership of Pope in the Catholic Church. And it is a country within a country with its private army, and its everything the state represents is actually Romanic in the modern sense. But here we are talking about the ancient Rome, the way power was actually shared in marriages, in matrimony. You give your wife, your daughter to a man of power, as in the head of state, as occurred in Rome. Lucrezia Borgia was deployed in strategic marriages. She was given in marriage as a matter of political strategy to secure alliances with Milan. So you talk about political alliance through marriage. You give your daughter to somebody, you build that marriage, arrange marriage for political reason to acquire power and wealth and preponderance over the country, as in Naples and Ferrara, anchoring regional influence. We talk about regional influence as in the sense of principality. So also in Uganda, by comparison, you have Janet Museveni, the first lady of Uganda, also a senior politician. She is a senior politician also in the government of her husband. But this marriage was intended to connect the parents of Janet Museveni and Mr. Museveni, who is president. So these are a political allowance which is actually achieved by marital maneuvering, strategizing, happened in Uganda in the same way it happened to Rome. So what happened in the past is happening in the contemporary time in Uganda, but I would also venture to say that such marriages also happen in England among the royal family. They do not marry outside, outside the family. They historically they married cousins to maintain power within the family. That is how they do it. They don't marry strangers. They marry family either who are family members or close friends of family or cousins and things like that is happening now. I think it's quietly also happening in countries like America or in other parts of the world. If you live in a country where you think people in power get married among themselves, then leave a crime below because they want to keep power within a certain patronage and leave a crime below. So you talk about Janet Museveni as First Lady, senior politician, and long-serving Minister of Education and Sports. And she controls domestic social policy, religious patronage, and party politics. So you got religion again. You talk about party politics. You talk about family as institution. We always come together to form power bases, as in ancient Rome, but also as in modern Uganda. And I would venture to add that this is what is happening actually in Uganda. Let us look at what happened in Rome. So the shadow chancellor, Giovanni Gioffre Borgia, were awarded duchies and southern territories to keep military command and land inside the clan. In Uganda, General Slim Saleh Caleb Akandwanaho, the president's brother and historical commander, anchors the family's economic networks and wealth distribution initiative throughout programs like Operation Wealth Creation in Uganda. So you have in Rome, you have the shadow chancellor, Giovanni Gioffre Borgia. They were awarded the duchies and southern territories to keep military command and land inside the clan. Talk about the duchies. These are principality power within the monarchy as you found in Rome. And these powers wielded power and to keep the territory in the military command and also conquering of land inside the clan is what you find everywhere in the world. They maintain state power. They amass wealth. They take territories, land, and they control the military. and this for this purpose to maintain power through military means to control wealth, especially land. In Uganda, the same, and Salim Salih, who is the brother of President Museveni, and also which is also the commander of the military, and and they control economic networks of wealth distribution in initiative throughout programs like operational wealth creation. These are specific facts, but in general, what this article is saying is that Salim Saleh, who is the brother of President Museveni, is also at the top of the military command. He control our families' economic networks and also wealth distribution. They own Uganda. In other words, Uganda is their private asset. In my opinion, in any other country in Europe, in America, and people like Elon Musk, if you probably trace him, you will find that maybe they are related. They are related to some people in Europe. He was initially from South Africa. Elon Musk was initially from South Africa, and he went to Canada, became a Canadian as a young man, and then he moved into America, and became a multi-trillionaire as I speak. So you are people connected to him like Donald Trump, who even appointed Elon Musk into his government. I don't know exactly because he has left the government now. Probably he was finding that he would be more useful doing his civil work other than in an executive capacity. I mean, operating in an executive capacity as in serving in the government. So, you follow this article, you will find that extended. You talk about extended court. Court is actually is the institution of the state, including the church, including where laws are created, and also where laws are determined. Cases in courts, law courts. These courts are actually they are executive courts. They are legislative courts, as in parliament. Executive is actually court of government, like here in the UK, the civil service, economy, institution, and infrastructure. But also you have the judiciary court, as in courts of law, and so they are extended. You talk about pulpits are actually where you occupy position of authority and power. Normally, in modern terms, this is actually associated with the church. Church is also a form of court in the ecclesiastical sense, in the spiritual as opposed to the temporary context. So you have the pulpit, tenders, and state-funded sinecures. So these are dynastic institution to to support dynastic mode of rule, which is domestic. Dynastic rule is never. I mean, they are presented in this article as being very greedy. They are never satisfied. Yes, in maintaining and perpetuating dynasties. They never get enough. You have seen with the imperial empire of Elon Musk, who is now a trillionaire, the richest man on earth. This man he will never get enough. So he keep compiling, member, piling wealth, whether people are dying of poverty around him, he doesn't really listen. So, with controlling only the army and the cabinet, so the military, as we said already previously, is the key to power wherever you are, even in America, in Europe, wherever in Africa. In Africa, it is more raw and less polished. In the developed world, militarism is operated in a more subtle way. You wouldn't even know there is militarism in Europe, in a country like Britain, but until you begin to study the military system and the security infrastructure. So, and we talk about commerce in the colonial sense, and colonizing also culture, colonizing and also faith. You see, they occupy the army and the cabinet. The cabinet are people with power in government, as in ministry. They are the most powerful bodies and individual in the government, in the executive order. So you talk about Alexander the Sixth, which populated Rome's holy orders and lucrative trading monopolies with his extended kin. In Kampala also, you find a mirror image in the modern sense, the remaining family members carving out their own state subsidized chiefdoms. We talk about chiefdoms. Chief in its primacy is actually they are executive authorities, as in the government sense of the word, and as in the operational sense of the word. But they are chiefdoms are not really royal titles. If you study the monarchy in the United Kingdom, you find it's chief of staff, chief of defense forces. The prime minister actually called the chief minister. When you talk about chiefdom, you talk about the civil equivalent or even the political offices, as in minister, ministering in the executive order. So the self-consecrated pulpit. You talk about the uh, the stage of power. You talk about in Uganda, the patient Rabogo founded our own church in the Museveni dynasty, in the ecclesiastical or the spiritual order. So these things are patented. The Covenant, the Covenant Nations Church, and recently ourselves consecrated as bishop. It provides the regime with a veneer of divine sanction, spiritual legitimacy, and moral authority. Meanwhile, her husband, Odrek Rabogo, operates as a key trade diplomat and government business handler, steering a multi-million dollar state export initiative and presidential advisory committee. This is in Uganda as compared with Rome. You find the ecclesiastical order as in the church and also in the bishoprics is found in the family of Mr. Museveni, patients, Robogo, founding our own church, and also a church known as the Covenant Nations Church, and recently being consecrated as bishop, providing the regime with a veneer of a divine sanction, spiritual legitimacy, and moral authority. Now, the thing with spirituality and church, you provide respect. People, you also a source of trust. As here in the bishopric or in the archbishopric, you find the most respect comes through the church. But the church, in my opinion, because I'm a Christian, the primary purpose of the church is to worship God. But who knows? The state can come in all shapes and sizes. When we studied Rome, as I said it earlier, the Roman Empire mixed the church with the state. Up to this day, in the model inherited from Rome into Britain and into the rest of not only Europe and America, but also in Asia, Middle East, and in Africa. You see, the system is the same. In Uganda today, it's the same as what you saw decades, millennia ago in Rome, in the ancient Rome, flowing from there into what became the British Empire. Even in the church today, in the House of Lords, there are bishops there. They are called spiritual members of the House of Lords, as opposed to temporal members of the church. This is a good material. It actually shows how things have not changed in the is a good research because it applies in Rome, in ancient Rome. It applies in modern Italy, and also in modern Rome, as in where the papal, where Pope reside, where his private military operates, where its wealth also operates. Some of the wealthiest people on the earth are actually people in the court of Roman of the Rome, in the papal Rome, as you find in Rome, which is a country within a country in Italy. It used to be Italy itself evolved out of the Roman, what was the Roman Empire in modern day Rome. They are predominantly Catholic. The Europeans are predominantly Catholic, and they are the genesis of modern Christianity. And the Anglican used to be in England, used to be Catholic until the breakup of England from Rome, to form what is become the English estate, and also the English Empire, which is presented to the world as the British Empire, but it is the empire actually very England. You see, because even to this day, when we talk about Britain and United Kingdom, we are talking about England, because every power is in England. The vast majority of the British people are actually English, and you have the little groups or in Wales, Scotland, and Northern Ireland. So United Kingdom and Great Britain is actually about England. So much so that even in Africa, when I was in Africa, even today, people do not understand the difference. I'm going to England. It means Great Britain. It mean United Kingdom, UK. And sometimes people also confuse it. I'm going to London. London is so powerful that sometimes people think it is a country, especially in Africa. Oh, I'm going to London, which means UK, Great Britain, which means which means England. But United Kingdom is composed of England, Wales, Scotland, and Northern Ireland. And you take away Northern Ireland, you remain with Great Britain, and then you take away uh, 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 um, and the rest of the people, if you remain with England, with the biggest population in this country and the greatest power, actually, every wealth, every power is from England. It is so powerful that it controls even Europe. It controls the epicenter of the global finance, in financial infrastructure. So you talk about this power, the church, the wealth, the military, all these, the commercial, the legal fixtures. Diana Museveni and her ex-husband Godfrey come on to build careers maneuvering through the corridors of public procurement, legal consultancy, and the contract, leveraging direct presidential access to broker deals across key sectors. These are some of the descriptions. You talk about legal fixtures, commercial and legal fixtures. When you kind of like produce that kind of design to amass power, to control power, it is scientific. It was copied from Rome. It is copied from Britain. It is the system Britain left in Africa, especially in East Africa, which is British, colonial in context, which is neo colonial, which is still imperial, which is militaristic, even in Britain, even in Europe, in America, every part of the world. There is power in excess to the ruling class, which produce a type of civil dictatorship or military dictatorship. In the case of Uganda, is a mixture of both. And if you study across the globe, you will find that in terms of power brokerage, there is a civil and military. Sometimes there is a disproportionate militarization of state power. And that's what probably you'll find in Uganda. Leave a comment below and let me know what your thoughts are about this material. It is one of these materials which we would love to really examine. Let us close this by reading from what this gentleman wrote. So we talk about the wardrobe sinecure. Natasha Museveni Karugire, a fashion designer and a state-subsidized filmmaker, was placed directly on the State House payroll as our father's official wardrobe consultant. He makes clothing for our dad, and it is funded, our private business is funded by the taxpayers of Uganda, and that is Natasha Museveni, she's a fashion designer, and also she is paid by the state to, and also he has a filmmaking industry business, and this is operate within the State House per se, and she is paid via the State House, and she is set there as our father's, the president's official wardrobe consultant, which is very convenient indeed. There is nothing wrong with that. At face value, at least, it is an arrangement that captures an absurdity of court life, where the public purse is used to fund personal family staff under the guise of civil service. True indeed. Thank you so much for watching. And we have looked at ancient Rome in what is present-day Italy, and also still persisting in the papal order in Rome today with the Pope, and the system is the same. It's just it's just covered up. It is more secretive. It is more organized. It is more close as democracies, and even in Uganda there is a democratic system across the globe. The story is the same, in my opinion. And leave a comment below, share with family and friends, and click like and subscribe to the channel, and leave a comment, and click notification bell. See you in the next video. Thank you. Bye bye. Thank you so much. Welcome back. And
Mayuna again, Ayabas.
Baby, I want to be with you tonight. Baby, I want to be with you tonight.
Stiffer, Allegiant Sound.
Anytime I see you, girl, you give me good time, good time. When I don't see you, girl, my heart breaks sometimes. Sometimes, do you know I love you? I want you. Do you know I love you? I want you. My heart take over, sweetie baby. You are my superman. Come over, party baby. Wapate, I come China. Wapate, I come China. Love me, my woman, my woman. Love me, my woman, my woman. Love me, my woman, my woman. Love me, my woman, my woman.
Baby, I want to be with you tonight. Baby, I want to be with you tonight.
Vacation twende Dubai, upige mapicha picha. Tú eres mi señorita, comprarte una rosa. Squeeze na vimba kita, bila wezi ringa. Hata kama sinanga ndinga, na wewe unaridhikaga. My heart take over, sweetie baby. You are my superman. Come over, party baby. Wapate, I come China. Wapate, I come China. Love me, my woman, my woman. Love me, my woman, my woman. Love me, my woman, my woman. Love me, my woman, my woman.
Baby, I want to be with you tonight. take over, sweetie, baby, you are my superman.
Mayuna again, Ayabas.
Baby, I want to be with you tonight. Baby, I want to be with you tonight.
Sniffer, Allegiant Sound.
Anytime I see you, girl, you give me good time, good time. When I don't see you, girl, my heart breaks sometimes, sometimes. Do you know I love you? I want you. Do you know I love you? I want you. My heart take over, sweetie, baby. You are my superman. Come over, party, baby. Wapate, I come China. Wapate, I come China. Love me, my woman, my woman. Love me, my woman, my woman. Love me, my woman, my woman. Love me, my woman, my woman.
Baby, I want to be with you tonight. Baby, I want to be with you tonight.
Vacation twende Dubai, upige mapicha, tú eres mi señorita, comprarte una rosa, squeeze na vimba kita, bila wezi ringa, hata kama sinanga ndinga, na wewe naridhikaga. My heart take over, sweetie baby, you are my superman, come over, party baby. Wapate, I come China. Wapate, I come China. Love me, my woman, my woman. Love me, my woman, my woman. Love me, my woman, my woman. Love me, my woman, my woman.
Baby, I want to be with you tonight. Baby, I want to be with you tonight. My heart take over, sweetie, baby, you are my superman.
Mayuna again, Ayabas.
Baby, I want to be with you tonight. Baby, I want to be with you tonight.
Sniffer, Allegiant Sound.
Anytime I see you, girl, you give me good time, good time. When I don't see you, girl, my heart breaks sometimes, sometimes. Do you know I love you? I want you. Do you know I love you? I want you. My heart take over, sweetie baby. You are my superman. Come over, party baby. Wapate, I come China. Wapate, I come China. Love me, my woman, my woman. Love me, my woman, my woman. Love me, my woman, my woman. Love me, my woman, my woman.
Baby, I want to be with you tonight. Baby, I want to be with you tonight.
Vacation twende Dubai, upige mapicha, tú eres mi señorita, comprarte una rosa, squeeze na vimba kita, bila wezi ringa, hata kama sinanga ndinga, na wewe naridhikaga.